A long, long time ago, before any white men had ever set foot in the land of Senna, there lived a man named Gopáni-Kúfa. One day, while out hunting in the forest, he stumbled upon a strange and troubling sight. A huge python had caught an antelope. The snake had wrapped itself tightly around the animal, but the antelope, in a desperate fight for its life, had driven its sharp horns deep into the trunk of a tree, pinning the python's neck against the wood. Neither creature could move. They were both stuck. The snake couldn't finish the hunt, and the antelope couldn't break free. "Help me," cried the antelope. "I wasn't doing anything wrong, but now I'm trapped and close to death." "Help me instead," hissed the python. "I am Insato, king of all reptiles. If you help me, I will reward you greatly." Gopáni-Kúfa stood quietly for a moment, thinking. Then he took his assegai, a kind of spear, and killed the antelope. He pulled the python free. "Thank you," said the python. "Come back here when the new moon rises. After I've eaten the antelope, I'll give you your reward, just as I promised." As the antelope lay dying, it gave a final warning. Yes, he will reward you, and that reward will be your downfall. Gopáni-Kúfa returned to his village, thinking about the antelope's words. But when the new moon came, he went back to the spot anyway. The python, full from its meal, was still resting on the ground. When he saw Gopáni-Kúfa, he said, "Come with me now to my land, called Pita. There, I'll let you choose whatever you want from my treasures." Gopáni-Kúfa hesitated. The antelope's final warning echoed in his mind, but curiosity and hope won over fear, and he followed the python deep into the forest. After traveling for days, they came to a narrow hole in the earth, just wide enough for a man to slide through. "Hold on to my tail," said Insato. "I'll go down first and pull you with me." Gopáni-Kúfa obeyed, and down they went, deeper and deeper into the earth. Days seemed to pass in darkness, but at last they dropped out into a wide and beautiful land. Green grass covered the ground, and herds of cattle, goats, and sheep grazed peacefully. In the distance was a grand city with tall square stone buildings and roofs that gleamed with gold and polished iron. When Gopáni-Kúfa turned to look at the python, he was shocked. Standing beside him now was a strong, handsome man, not a snake, though the man still wore the skin of a python as a cloak. Around his arms and neck were heavy golden rings. "I am still Insato," said the man, smiling. "In my own land, I take on human form. This is Pita, my kingdom." He took Gopáni-Kúfa by the hand and led him toward the city. On the way, they passed rivers where men and women bathed and fished and rowed boats. Fields were full of people singing while they worked, growing rice, maize, and many other crops Gopáni-Kúfa had never seen before. When the people saw Insato, they stopped their work and cheered, offering him fresh palm wine and green coconuts. "These are my children," said Insato, proudly waving to the joyful crowd. Gopáni-Kúfa was amazed. Everything he saw was beautiful. Even the dust on the road sparkled like gold and silver. At last, they reached the palace, and Insato showed him to a lovely room. Servant girls waited to serve him. "Tonight we feast," Insato said, "and tomorrow you can choose any gift from my kingdom. It will be yours." That night, as Gopáni-Kúfa lay in his room, he opened the small rush basket he always carried with him. Inside was a special wasp, Zengimizi. This was no ordinary wasp. The spirit of his father lived inside it, and the wasp was wise and full of knowledge. Whenever Gopáni-Kúfa faced a big decision, he asked Zengimizi for advice. "What should I ask Insato for tomorrow?" he whispered to the wasp. "Bzz," the wasp hummed. "Ask for Sipao, the mirror." Gopáni-Kúfa was puzzled. A mirror? Why would that be the most valuable thing in a land full of gold and treasure? Still, he trusted the wasp, as he always had. The next morning, Insato came to him cheerfully. "My friend, name your reward. Anything you desire is yours." "O king," Gopáni-Kúfa said, "I would like the mirror. Sipao." Insato's face changed. He looked shocked and troubled. "Anything but that, my friend. I didn't think you would ask for my most treasured possession." "Then allow me one more day to think it over," said Gopáni-Kúfa. But when Insato left, Gopáni-Kúfa again asked the wasp, "Should I choose something else?" "No," said Zengimizi. "The mirror is a wishing mirror. Whatever you ask of it, it will give you. That is the most powerful thing you can ever own. Return every day and keep asking. The king will give in because you saved his life." And so he did. For 3 days, Gopáni-Kúfa asked for the mirror. At last, Insato gave it to him, a mirror made of polished iron. "Take it," the king said sadly, "and may it bring you what you wish. Now go back to your world. The mirror will show you the way." Gopáni-Kúfa was overjoyed. He held up the mirror and said, "Sipao, Sipao, take me back to Earth." In a blink, he was standing on the upper world again, but he didn't know where he was, so he asked again, "Sipao, Sipao, show me the path to my kraal." A road appeared before him. When he reached home, his wife and daughter were mourning. They thought he'd been killed by wild animals. He told them he had gotten lost while chasing a wounded antelope. That night, he asked the wasp, "What should I wish for now?" The wasp said, "Don't you want to be as great a chief as Insato?" Gopáni-Kúfa smiled. He picked up the mirror and said, "Sipao, Sipao, I want a town as grand as Insato's, and I want to be chief over it." Immediately, along the banks of the Zambesi River, a grand city rose up. Golden roofs, stone houses, happy people, livestock, and children running in the streets, just like the kingdom of Pita. The people cheered when they saw him and hailed him as their chief. Gopáni-Kúfa moved into a large palace at the center of town. His wife was speechless, but his daughter Shasasa kept asking him how this had all happened. Finally, he told her everything, even giving her the mirror for safekeeping. "You should hold on to it," he said, "since you live apart from the main house, and no one will find it there." Shasasa hid the mirror beneath her pillow. For many years, Gopáni-Kúfa ruled with wisdom and kindness. Everyone loved him, and not once did he need to use the mirror again. But years passed, and Gopáni-Kúfa grew old. One day, white men arrived in the land. They fought against him and his people. Thanks to the mirror's power, Gopáni-Kúfa defeated them, and they fled to the coast. But one man among them, named Ray, wanted revenge. He sent a spy, a servant named Butu, into Gopáni-Kúfa's city. Butu disguised himself as a poor man and begged for help. "When Ray attacked you, Hanoi," he said, "I refused to fight, so he cast me out. Please take me in." Gopáni-Kúfa believed him and gave him shelter. Over time, Shasasa, the chief's daughter, fell in love with Buta. Eventually, she told him the secret of the mirror. One night, Butu crept into her room, took the mirror from under her pillow, and ran off to deliver it to Ray. Later, as Gopáni-Kúfa looked out from his palace, he saw war canoes approaching again. His heart sank. "Shasasa," he called, "bring me the mirror, quickly." But Shasasa broke down and cried, "Father, it's gone. I loved Butu, and he has betrayed us. He stole the mirror." Gopáni-Kúfa said nothing for a moment. Then, quietly, he pulled out the basket that held Zengimisi. "O spirit of my father," he whispered, "what can I do now?" "There's nothing to be done," buzzed the wasp. "Do you remember what the antelope said? Your reward would become your undoing." The old chief trembled. "Yes, I had forgotten, but now the antelope's words are coming true." Soon after, the white men attacked. Without the mirror, Gopáni-Kúfa and his people had no power left. He, his daughter, and many others were killed. The white men took the mirror, and ever since then, it is said that the power of the world has remained in their hands. And so the story of the magic mirror teaches us that sometimes the gifts we receive, even when well earned, can bring about our downfall if we do not guard them wisely. Trust must be given carefully, and pride must be kept in check. Gopáni-Kúfa's kindness brought him greatness, but forgetting a warning and trusting the wrong heart took everything away.